Hello and welcome everyone. First of all, happy Christmas and happy New Year. This video is coming out after Christmas and New Year, but this truck is my Christmas present. Kindly, my members of my family, gave me money because in this hobby I wanted to buy a new truck and I didn't quite know what I wanted. So yeah, here she is. Kindly shipped from Model Sport. This is the associated CR12 Trail Series Ford F-150 pickup, scale 1/12. That's a mouthful for you. This thing is an absolute beauty. I love it. I have been looking at it for quite some time. My favourite angle has to be from the front. I mean, she's pretty, right? Absolutely gorgeous. They do a black shell with kind of very dark grey black and this blue one. And it was in the UK £169.99, so £170 shipped. And I think that's a bit of a bargain, to be honest. And the reason why I've gone into kind of 1/12 really is one for money, because I want more trucks, but I can't keep spending ridiculous amounts of money, and just something different. But I guess the other reason for this is to have it. I wanted something on the back of the Cross RC trailer, so not on the back of the Cross RC truck itself, but actually on the trailer. And yeah, I've taken some footage earlier on, which I'll put up. I will also put up that footage and some run footage as well. I'll give you snippets when I'm talking about it, but near the end of this video there will be some run footage. I haven't taken her out in a proper run. Look how clean she is. Don't you just love it when the trucks are this clean? And at the moment, because it's winter in the UK, she would get filthy, and I want to keep her like this. Been running her inside. I have run around the side of the house just to kind of do some run footage for this video. I have got rid of, well, unplugged the team associated radio. Now, I'm not going to go into all in depth about the technicalities of this truck, but it's a ready to run. The radio, you do get dual rates on it, okay, for your throttle and steering, which is pretty good, to be fair. But anyone that's kind of used their own radio or got their own radio, it's fine for ready to run in your first truck, but I like my own radios, and my trusty Spectrum DX5C. I love this radio. I have messed around with it. A bit of a bodge there to steer one-handed. I like steering one-handed, and I really find this radio's superb. So that's the only thing I've changed, excuse me, on this, is I've put my own Spectrum radio gear in it. I haven't changed anything else. So looking at the truck, I like these plastic chrome rims. I believe, I've been told, although I haven't taken them off, they're a 12mm hex, so you can change the tyres fairly easily. They've got no foams in these at all. They're really squishy. But from what I've done so far, they seem fine. I mean, the treads are going to get choked up. So I haven't taken this out on a proper run. And you've got to use it for what it's intended. It's not going to be like the SCX. It's not going to perform like a 1/10 crawler. I will put it through its paces, and you will see some proper run videos, but I am going to use it for what it's intended. And that's going to be taking it out on a run with the MCs. On the trailer, I've built some ramps as well, made them so it can run on and off the trailer. One thing I will say straight away, the suspension on this is superb. Now, the sag is really, really good from the shocks. I'll have to take the body shell off. In fact, let me do that now. So, people have griped about this. They've said in the reviews I've watched, oh, you can't take the body shell off, you can't disconnect the lights. Well, you can. They've done a very, very neat job, actually, as it goes, excuse me, too much turkey, tidying and being neat. So the wires that run to the lights are just cable tied in, and they run through here, and they run up to the servo RX. Duh, Again, too much turkey and wine. So all I'm going to do is snip these cable ties off and put a connector in that I can just plug it in so I can get the show off, because it is rather annoying having this flapping around. That's how little I've done to this truck. Okay, I've only had it a day or so. But yeah, back to what I was talking about, the sag on the shocks. If you watch this, look at that. They sag really nicely. And I have to say, I'll put some footage up on the corner of the video, that they articulate really well. This truck, it reminds me actually of my SCX10. It really does. I've got the raw builder's kit. The articulation is superb. It's really, really, really good. I am so impressed with it. So good job, Associated. I've never had an Associated RC vehicle before. This is my first, and I have to say, although I haven't taken it out on a proper run, fantastic job. Small trucks, I've had WPLs and things before, and I had another crawler, 1/10 crawler, cheap one, when I first started. I won't go into names, but this is amazing. Really, I think it's been missed by a few people, sadly, and I'm really impressed with it. So yeah, top job, Associated. You get with it a lithium-ion 2S 850 mAh battery, and you get a charger with it, and you also get AA batteries in the kit, so it's full on ready to run. The main chassis plate here for the battery tray is metal, and it's really quite big, so you can put a really big battery in there. It's got a 380 motor, crawler motor, which seems absolutely fine. It's got a rebadged Hobbywing 1060 in it, ESC, which is pretty okay, I have to say. I had one of those, a 1060, in my first FTX crawler, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I have been spoilt because I've got XE Run in my Hobbywing XE Run in my MC, and I use 1080s. I am going to swap this out because I've got a spare 1080. I'm going to put a 1080 in it because it will make it that little bit better. With the standard radio, this truck is really rather lurchy and jumpy, and the drag brake's just very vicious. I've changed it since I've put, literally changing it to my Spectrum radio with the same ESC. I haven't touched anything else. It's all stock. It's really good. It's really quite, you can be quite gentle with it. And the video I've put up, or will put up, I haven't changed any rates or exposure or anything else. So it's really quite well set up. I do like that about it. It hasn't got on it, from what I can see, the power of the servo. They say it's a high torque servo, it's chassis mounted. The servo is actually, let me switch this on. Okay, so this is the radio connected. Servo, considering we're stationary, I mean, I've only really run it indoors mainly, going over my daughter's toys and things. And the servo's got plenty of power in it. I probably will end up changing it out for something, you know, you can get them off eBay, some quite high powered servos. I always like going high powered in my servos because I like strong steering. But it's fine. You know, I think the best thing you can do if you use your own radio gear is put your own radio gear in it, and away you go. It's really, really good fun. It's amazing. I'd say it's great for someone getting into crawling, or even someone that's intermediate crawler, or just wants something a little less serious than your SCX10 or TRX4. The shocks are plastic, but again, I don't know what oil they've got in them, but they are really good for the truck. I'm very impressed. Let's have a look at the lights now I've switched her on. The one complaint I've got about this is that the body post, the actual holes for the body posts, you've got to push the body down, and they are really quite tricky to get in. And they're silver clips, which, okay, I've ordered some black ones because maybe they're Brit for the chrome bumpers, but I don't like it, so the black ones are going in. Anyway, that's just a little niggle, but look at these lights. It's really cool. It's got like indicator running lights and then your normal headlights, which I think is amazing. Big complaint I've seen on every review, the pumpkins on the axles are massive. They are. The ground clearance is pretty bad. But again, this isn't something that I'm going to go do major obstacle climbing with, really. It's something to run around for a good bit of video, running off back of the trailer, and we'll see what it can do. But yeah, I'm not really bothered about that, but that could be a limiting factor for you. But you know, if you're going to get into crawling and you really want some good ground clearance, then you know, you're going to have to get the right truck for that. But for a 1/12 scale, I am super impressed. So let's turn this over, look underneath. Yes, careful with that shell. This is where it becomes annoying when you can't unclip it. I should have done it by now. It's got a massive Servo Saver in it, absolutely enormous. It's pretty big. You can see actually where I was going over the logs earlier, I've scratched it a little bit. But it's got plastic drive shafts, but the kind of where it connects to the actual axles, it's metal. The kind of couplers, if you like, they're metal. It's got CVDs in the front drive shafts, front shafts, so they're not dog bones, and I think that is amazing. That is absolutely, I wish they had them on my MC, I really do. Yeah, come on Cross, I don't know why they don't do that or make a kit for the MC6 or the MC8. It's not good, but I am impressed. I really like it. Not only is she a real looker, she's a good performer, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do. I mean, one downside really, Andrew was taking a mick, and I kind of get what he means. You know, there's stickers on the windows. Yeah, that's not great, but it's at a price point. And from my point of view, I'd have to faff on with interiors, and it'd make it top heavy, and I'd have to put people in there and stuff because he'd whinge at me every 5 minutes. I guess the one downside is it hasn't got rear, well, it's got rear plastic lights. These are gonna not last 5 minutes if it goes over, I shouldn't imagine. Would have been good if they'd have put some kind of lenses in the back and had some lights in the back. I think they missed a trick here. That would have finished it off, but you know, to be fair, as good as the truck is, that's a really, really minor gripe about it. I love it, and I think it's going to look amazing. They do an FJ shell version of this, the Toyota FJ, which I like too, so I might end up getting another shell as well, but it's out of stock at the moment. They do a grey one, and it just fits straight on the chassis, so that's another good thing, you know, buying different shells for the trucks. Gives you a different look, right? And essentially it's a new truck, hey? That's the way I think about it. But yeah, this is superb. So some run footage coming up. I definitely think about buying one of these if you're into small trucks. I'm interested to see longevity, how she lasts, what happens. But yeah, she's going to be on the channel quite a bit. We're also going to probably do some, you know, night runs in London and town centres and things, because when you've got a small truck, it's much easier to carry it around, and it's, you know, it doesn't stand out, it doesn't make a lot of noise. You can put it in places that you can't put a 1/10. So lots of channel time coming up. So hope you've all had a great Christmas and New Year, and thanks for watching as always, and we'll catch up soon. Bye for now.